This month, the month of March, we are talking about the theme Grace Upon Grace. And so the subject matter of grace. And today's topic is this idea that we are under grace. That is the working operating system, the covenant that we are under. Romans chapter 6, verse 14 says this: sin shall not be master over you, for you are not under the law, you are under grace. My family are big Bob Ross fans. Any Bob Ross fans here? Yes, indeed. And I'm a lifelong Bob Ross fan. I remember as a kid watching it on PBS and just feeling, even at like 13 years old, completely relaxed. I'm like, there's something to this. I think I need to grow my hair out. And so he is fantastic. And we decided, this is a couple of years ago, we decided, why not paint along with Bob Ross? And so we did that, and ours looked more like Jackson Pollock than it did Bob Ross, but it was fun. And so actually last week, we decided, my wife, my daughter, Berkeley, and I, we decided to do it again. And so you can go to my Insta to see the final results. But we painted along with Bob Ross. Now, he always had this thing. He always talks about, hey, it's okay to make mistakes. He's like, there's no real mistakes. They're just happy accidents. So there's no real mistakes, just happy accidents. I like that philosophy. But the truth is, that is not true as it relates to the perfect standard of a perfect God, the law of God. There is no happy accidents. There is only tragic, disqualifying mistakes. I'm thankful, painting along with Bob Ross, that his gift was encouraging through all the inevitable mess-ups. Just keep going. It's all good. You know, you spilled the paint all over the floor and the carpet in the living room. It's no big deal. Your wife is not going to yell at you. It's fine. She didn't. But when it comes to the law of God, it's inflexible. There's no wiggle room. There's no, you tried your hardest. It is perfect or it is not. Christianity can be summed up in three phrases. The three phrases are this: God's demand, be perfect. God's demand is be absolutely perfect. Jesus says at Sermon on the Mount, be perfect as my Father is perfect. The second statement would be God's diagnosis. You're not. You are nowhere close. You're not almost there. We're not grading on a curve. You're not. God's demand is be perfect, and God's diagnosis is this: no one is. But the third and most important statement, God's deliverance. Jesus is perfect for us. Jesus is our perfection. That's grace. That's what grace is. The law was given not to kind of usher us to the finish line. The law was not given to improve us. The law was not given to give us the checklist of things to keep up with and try hard and work harder to achieve. The law was meant to expose us to diagnosis. Is God's written diagnosis to say you are terminally flawed. You are nowhere close. The law is given for that reason. This is what Galatians chapter 2 verse 16 says. By the works of the law, that is our trying to achieve what the law demands, no flesh will be justified. No flesh will ever be justified by the works of the law. That's why Jesus had to become flesh. And now it starts making sense. You're like, okay, we have to achieve the law. We have to, under that covenant, we have to fulfill the covenant. That's the covenant. There's no other way around it. This is the covenant. This is the covenant that humanity made with God. Anything you ask us to do, we can surely do. That's what the Israelites asked for. God graciously, he said, here you go. Here's the law. Here's the perfect standard of God. And then the truth is, no flesh will ever be able to justify themselves through the law. So Jesus had to become flesh so that he, in the flesh, could fulfill the law. And that's what he did. He fulfilled the law in the flesh, and then he closed the book on that covenant. He ended that covenant. He resolved that covenant. He achieved everything that covenant demanded, and then through his death and sacrifice, he inaugurated a new covenant, a new connection, a new agreement between God and man, and that is the covenant of grace. You are no longer under the law. You are now under grace. So grace is unconditional love and acceptance granted to an undeserving person by an unobligated giver. God's deliverance is this. Jesus is perfect for us, and the Bible says, as he is, so are you. So everything Jesus is, everything Jesus achieved, everything Jesus accomplished in his life, in his death, in his resurrection is now credited to us. It moves to our account. He gives that to us as an inheritance. We are children. We receive an inheritance. And that inheritance is perfection, perfect right standing before God. And all we have to do to be a part of that is receive it by faith. So when God looks at our lives and the lives that we're painting, and if you've ever seen me paint, you will know that that is not impressive at all. Nor is my life most of the time. And so the lives that they're painting that is full of happy accidents, and we're probably nowhere near where we want to be personally in this life that we're painting. Jesus looks upon us and sees a priceless work of art. And he says, this is what I'm going to hang up forever. And I'm going to enjoy, I'm going to love, and it is priceless to me. That is the gift of God's grace.